Helsinki. We will be hearing from Roshan, who is the business coach and business advisor for soft landing at Helsinki. It's about in Western Europe on our 2023 rankings, and they are third in Europe for food tech and second in consumer electronics in Europe. Hello.
Yes. Hello, Catherine. Hello, everyone. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to introduce our startup ecosystem here in Helsinki. It's a pleasure to be here. Let me see if I can share my screen. Yeah. So I hope you can see it. Yeah. If not, please screen.
Yeah, we can see it, but it's not on full screen. But
yeah.
I think
is it now?
Yeah. Yes, perfect.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so a few words about our startup ecosystem here in Helsinki. First of all, my name is Jochen Vogel. I work for Business Helsinki, so that's the business branch of the city of Helsinki. More precisely, I'm working for the soft landing unit. And what we are doing there is we are helping international startup entrepreneurs, international growth companies that are planning to relocate to Finland, pretty much from the moment where they decide to come here, helping them with the application, the paperwork, up to the point when they are ready to grow out of the Finnish market. So we accompany them all the way along. All the services for free. So that's what we do. You find here more information at Sisu Factory is our latest platform where it's easier for us to share information and easier for potential clients to reach out to us. But what about the ecosystem in Helsinki? What qualifies us, or what are certain parts you should remember? First of all, we have around 2,226 startups, scale-ups, 155 venture capitalists, which may not sound very much for some of you, but given that we have roughly only 600,000 people living in Helsinki, I think that's a quite a substantial number. We have, of course, our 4 unicorns we are very proud of, and quite a few that are in the making and hopefully coming soon to that stage as well. But when you're talking about Helsinki and the ecosystem, you also have to keep in mind the cities of Espoo and Vantaa, which are just border cities, and it's everyday life. It just happens in those 3 cities. It's the capital region, and what that means for our clients is that no matter in which of these cities you live, you do have access to these industries, and you find the support and need of a huge variety of different industries. We also have one of the highest university concentrations in Europe, which we are very proud of. And all of these universities do understand that it's very important to focus on the startup environment. That's why we had, for example, last year, 25 incubator batches covering all different industries and topics, more than 11 million euros of funding, over 100 companies established per year. And what we are also very happy about is that we have actually a very high percentage of female founders here in Helsinki, which is much higher than the global average. I think all of these factors contribute to the fact that 3 out of 5 jobs here in Helsinki actually are generated by companies that are younger than 10 years old or max 10 years old, which also means that Helsinki is very much aware of the value startups provide, and therefore is trying or offers a very startup-friendly environment. And that's why, for example, we have many opportunities for test beds. These are the current ones we are having, where the startups can apply and then build and work on different projects together with us. We have 2 main events I would like to mention. One is Slush, which is also founded originally by students, has around 20,000 participants. I think it might be familiar to many of you. That's the biggest event we have here, probably one of the biggest business events in the Nordics. That's usually towards the end of the year. And then if you would prefer nicer weather, then I would suggest our Arctic 15 event, which is much smaller, but is therefore then focusing much more on the matchmaking. Maria 01 is certainly one part we have to mention when we are talking about the ecosystem in Helsinki. It is currently the biggest startup hub in the Nordics, but it has plans to expand. And I think by the end of 2000 or around 2030, or at least the next couple of years, they are actually planning to become the biggest startup hub in Europe. And that, of course, will also have then a big effect on our national and international startups living here or relocating here in Finland or to Helsinki. When we are looking quickly at the investor side or investment side, we have to, of course, address the problem that investment has been going down significantly during the last year. I think the reasons are familiar to all of us, but nonetheless, I would like to highlight that Helsinki is still rather consistent and resilient to that drop comparing to the Nordic average. Also important to mention is that much of the investment is actually coming from outside, mainly two reasons. I mean, Finland is a small country, so we always have to learn to collaborate internationally. But of course, it also shows that investors value Helsinki, Finland, and the startups we have. Recently funded startups, which went like 15 million plus, have been in these areas here: SaaS, climate technology, gaming, mobility, and quantum computing. But if you look at the broader scale and want to see how much has been invested in the last, let's say, 10 years or so, health, marketing, media, gaming, fintech has been a very good bet. And as Catherine already mentioned, food has now also become much more popular during the last couple of years. We have a very good public funding system that's provided by our government, Business Finland, which is a combination of grants and funds and reaches from 50,000 to the area of millions, depending on the project you have. But that is also something that's very appreciated by our startups. I want to close with why Helsinki. And these reasons are not just coming from us, but we actually interviewed our international clients and asked them, hey, why would you or why do you appreciate working in or having your startup here in Helsinki? And these were the reasons. So strong tech talent hub, gateway to the EU market, very startup friendly, low hierarchy, strong innovations ecosystem, global connectivity, the digital infrastructure we have, and then live in Finland in general. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any more questions or interest, please reach out at any time.
Thank you very much for introducing us more about Helsinki. I'm sure a lot of people know about it, but not everyone knows about the startup ecosystem in the city. So